Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel, Immigration YTTV. We hope you're doing great. In this video, we're going to talk about new ICE data shows steady rise in immigrants self-deporting. Fresh ICE records show a steady rise in immigrants choosing self-deportation since the start of Trump's second term. The increase coincides with new enforcement tools like the CBP Home app and initiatives such as Project Homecoming. If you are interested in this topic, please pay attention and watch the video through to the end to get all the information. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. So, without any further delay, let's jump into the video. Fresh records obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request shed light on a new trend under President Donald Trump's second term. An increasing number of immigrants are choosing to leave the United States on their own rather than wait for formal deportation orders. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement data show that while deportations remain high, voluntary departures are quietly on the rise, signaling a shift in immigration enforcement dynamics. Since Trump was inaugurated in January 2025, ICE has deported 145,419 individuals from detention centers. The single highest month came in June, when nearly 28,000 people were formally removed. But behind these official removals, another story is unfolding: a steady uptick in self-deportations, often facilitated through newly repurposed federal tools. Rise of the CBP Home app and its role. The turning point for voluntary departures appears to align with the rollout of the CBP Home app, which the Trump administration introduced earlier this year. Originally launched under President Joe Biden as CBP One, the platform was intended to help asylum seekers book appointments at border crossings. Although ICE has not published specific figures on how many immigrants use the app, voluntary departure cases grew sharply from just 592 in February to over 4,200 by July. Analysts suggest this rise is partly due to the convenience of using the app compared to navigating lengthy court processes or risking detention. How Trump's deportation record compares to Biden's. The Trump administration has consistently emphasized its commitment to stricter enforcement. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem has highlighted high deportation numbers, though critics note that DHS under Trump is less transparent than it was under Biden. For instance, Biden's DHS routinely published monthly enforcement statistics, while Trump's agencies have scaled back regular updates. Even so, FOIA release data show that ICE removals in July 2025 numbered 23,250, slightly lower than the 25,000 removals in July 2024 under Biden. The distinction lies in who is being deported. Under Trump, removals have shifted heavily toward immigrants with criminal convictions or pending charges. According to Jessica Vaughn of the Center for Immigration Studies, Trump's ICE has removed nearly double the number of immigrants with criminal records compared to Biden's, largely due to closer cooperation with state and local police. Deportations versus self-deportations. The immigration data illustrate a split between formal deportations and voluntary exits. Critics like David Beer from the Libertarian Cato Institute argue that overall removals remain constrained by operational capacity. ICE can only process so many people, regardless of political will. Still, the mix has changed. Fewer migrants are being expelled directly at the southern border, largely because fewer are crossing. Meanwhile, removals of individuals who have been in the U.S. longer than 6 months have tripled since January. Who is being removed? Nationalities and patterns. The ICE records provide a clear breakdown of national origins. As in previous years, Mexican nationals dominate the deportation figures. In May alone, more than 12,000 Mexicans were deported or left voluntarily, far outpacing Guatemalans, Hondurans, and Venezuelans, each in the low thousands. Chinese nationals also appear in the records, though removals are more complicated. In June, 240 Chinese immigrants were deported, but China accepted only 235, highlighting ongoing difficulties in securing agreements with certain countries. Criminality and enforcement priorities. The Trump administration has placed strong rhetorical emphasis on targeting the worst of the worst, immigrants convicted of serious crimes or facing criminal charges. According to ICE's data, more than 60,000 deported individuals had no criminal convictions, but the majority did have charges or prior convictions. This marks a significant shift compared to Biden-era enforcement, which focused more heavily on recent border crossers rather than interior arrests of long-term residents. Project Homecoming and Incentives for Departure. A new program launched by the Trump administration in May, known as Project Homecoming, has added another dimension. According to DHS, immigrants who use the CBP Home app can receive a free one-way plane ticket, a $1,000 departure bonus, and forgiveness of unpaid fines. The administration claims that since January 20th, 1.6 million undocumented immigrants have left the U.S., though these numbers have not been independently verified. By reframing voluntary departure as an organized and incentivized process, Trump officials hope to encourage larger numbers of undocumented immigrants to leave without costly enforcement actions. Still, skeptics note that such programs may pressure immigrants into choosing departure when the alternative is indefinite detention. Looking ahead, capacity and political pressure. The Big Beautiful Bill Act, Trump's sweeping immigration legislation, has significantly boosted the agency's budget. Yet expanding detention space, hiring thousands of new officers, and streamlining removal operations will take time. Meanwhile, Trump and senior advisor Stephen Miller are pressing ICE to deliver higher numbers of arrests and deportations, beyond what the system currently appears capable of handling. For now, voluntary departures through the CBP Home app and Project Homecoming serve as a politically valuable way to inflate enforcement figures while avoiding some of ICE's structural bottlenecks. Conclusion: a new phase in immigration enforcement. The latest ICE data highlight a notable transformation in immigration policy under Trump. While deportations remain a centerpiece, voluntary departures are becoming increasingly important to the administration's strategy. By introducing tools like the CBP Home app and offering incentives through Project Homecoming, Trump's team is reshaping how immigration enforcement is measured and perceived. Whether these changes will deliver long-term results or simply shift the burden from detention to coerced self-removal remains to be seen. What is clear is that the administration's approach represents a new era of immigration enforcement, blending traditional deportations with novel strategies aimed at accelerating the exit of undocumented immigrants from the United States. While deportations remain high, the growth in voluntary departures signals a shift in the administration's approach to immigration control. By pairing incentives with tougher enforcement, Trump's team is reshaping how success is measured in immigration policy.